Right, we're live. Hello, everybody. Lovely to see community here in our Zoom room, and welcome to you practicing with us on the channel afterwards. Hmm. This is another talk inspired by, I regret it more and more as it continues to decline, but there is some good things on there if you curate your algorithms properly or skillfully. On Instagram, and this was a Danish mom, and I think I haven't really followed the rest of her channel, but just algorithm gave me this sweet post of her one of her children, quite a young little toddler person, and we could see in this little clip that um, so the Instagram person's channel, her name is Laura Zabel, Zabell. I'll see if I can put a link to her channel down below in the YouTube so you could um, check it out for yourself. So she's got a few little clips of this little toddler person. Um, they're kind of banging on a chair outside. Like you can tell they're mildly frustrated about something. It looks like they're mildly frustrated about something, but then they turn around and they go "Put, put, put," and they do this little hand gesture, put. So this is a Danish word that PYT are the letters, but the it's pronounced like put, put. Uh, I've Yeah, been listening to pronunciation videos, trying to get it correctly. So deep apologies if I'm butchering it. Put. Uh, and it's done with this little flick of the hand. Put. And it was apparently, according to an article I read that I'll also put the link for, um, voted the most popular word by Danes recently in some recent survey. And in the article, okay, I shouldn't just say the article, I should say written by, mm, written by Marie Helwig Larson, professor of psychology, um, and and I'll put the link to that article. So this author said that this word is not just a word, but is a cultural concept. It's kind of a response to daily hassles, frustrations, and mistakes, our own or others. And it's this way to just kind of, it's like saying, don't worry about it, or oh well, never mind, let it go. It's apparently they teach this a lot in the schools, and you can even buy a put button, like this plastic red button. It's got the word PYT on it. And in the classrooms, children are encouraged to press that as a way to, you know, you spilled your milk. You, the pencil crayons are broken, like whatever, these kind of small things, or they've misplaced a toy, or not something deeply significant. So it's not about denial, but it's just mm, things that have happened that you can't change, that are um, can kind of see them in their right perspective, keep it in perspective. Uh, and it was so sweet to see this little young person, just the lightness in their face. They're just like put, put, um, letting go of things. And I really don't know culturally, but I'm curious how that it's from what I've read, it's very helpful to the population and also like to young folks to be able to keep things in perspective when they might just be throwing a tantrum. You know, they're learning and the whole classroom is learning and it's part of their daily vocabulary to just like let go of things. And teaching that everything can't be perfect, you know? There's a real sweetness to it. Um, and so it reminds me a little bit of, well, parts of the RAIN acronym. It's like about accepting, that recognizing this happened and accepting that's happened. Um, and it's a lot like RAIN acronym, recognizing, allowing. In the RAIN acronym, there's more investigation or curiosity about what's come up. And then the N is non-identifying, not taking it personally, which I think is really a part of this put way of being of like, it's not personal. It's not just happening to me. This is something that happens and maybe beyond my control. Um, It's a reminder to save our energy for what really matters and choosing what to pay attention to. So it's not suppression or denial of something that is meaningful or distressful or, you know, important things, but it's a way to recognize, maybe that could be a light thing, uh, or could be lighter than maybe our habits have conditioned us to be in reactivity with things. It's also helpful with regards to not blaming or shaming. So, not to create the mind states of shame, which contract our hearts, or blame, which is pointing the finger at others and judging others. Um, but just keeping things in perspective. And again, it's not about denial or avoiding responsibility if something is harmful. So we don't just shrug everything off and say put to everything. We need to respond and hear when something has been harmful to ourselves or others, uh, and not an excuse for inaction of just like floating above everything or not taking anything seriously. So it takes some discernment. And what I've been exploring is like how many things actually could be a lot lighter, you know? Um, yeah, we're in a very busy time of life right now, and there's lots and lots of details, and of course, things that aren't going to go perfectly. And it's been helpful to just be put whatever that, you know, what really matters. So it clears up a lot of your mental, emotional, physical energy for what really matters and letting go of what doesn't. Hmm. In the article that I was referencing, it also talks about, because she's a psychologist, the author, how this kind of letting go or redirecting our energy is really also supported by other practices like meditation or yoga or exercise, being in nature, going for a walk, um, journaling, creativity. So when we feel ourselves stuck in, you know, where we bitten the hook of something that's maybe where it's not skillful to be taking that on as a something to contract around. Um, it can be helpful to like practice saying this word so it comes more easily for you, or even just using the gesture. I love that it comes with a gesture. Um, to really make it, or some other word that means that for you, a habit so that it becomes more of a reflex and a response in the moment when we can easily fall into habit. Um, and so we say something like that or do that gesture, but then we also need to then redirect, like what else is going on? Or rather than just sit and ruminate on something, which is so easy to do, um, when we bite the hook and just get off on a tangent, if we're really feeling like, not that big a deal, it's okay, that one can let go, then it's helpful to actually physically move and do something else, which is kind of neat in the classrooms, where the kid has to get up and go over to the button and hit the button. Uh, I forget what the buttons, I mean, the ones that you could actually buy these, but it's in Danish. It's not English. So, but it has a few other phrases that are of a similar. One of them I think is like breathe or just breathe, something like this but I haven't found an English version yet. Um, yeah, so I thought it was just a sweet little tool and very much related to a Dharma practice of seeing, hmm, is this something I can do something about, or is it just something frustrating that happened, like a minor annoyance, a daily kind of hassle, or a mistake that I've made or someone else has made? If it's something that's caused harm, then we want to follow up and definitely offer amends and follow through with it and put in the wise efforts of not causing harm again to the best of our ability. But I think very many things could be helped by this kind of attitude and gesture. Reminds me of the wise efforts of the Eightfold Path um, and the wise intentions, wise view. Okay, all of the Eightfold Paths. And just keeping things in perspective and what needs to be let go of is part of wise effort. When something unskillful has arisen, to see it in perspective, like just with mindfulness, sometimes that's enough for it to let go. These are the kind of things we're talking about tonight that are pretty light things. They don't require a lot of deep, wise efforts, but the kind like just with mindfulness, you can see, yeah, it's already broken, or yeah, I'm already late for that. Oh well, I'm not going to go bumper to bumper with someone to try to get there sooner. I'm stuck in this traffic. Um, these kind of examples. Uh, I'm just thinking, yeah, when things are stickier, like just seen with mindfulness, then they require different degrees of wise effort to abandon them. So this kind of gesture is for the pretty light stuff, which is something to get curious about. How much of the things could actually be seen with a lot more lightness? Again, not as denial or bypassing, but curiosity. Hmm, could this be lighter? Yeah, probably. Maybe. Um, Let me see if there's anything else about it. Accepting and resetting. I think that's it. Hmm. Sweet. Uh, I'll see if I can put the Instagram link in the YouTube channel, and maybe at the end of this Zoom call, I'll pull it up as well, and so we can watch it together. Um, I think that's all. Yeah. So let's do our practice. Hmm. Setting aside any distractions that you can let go of for now. See if you need any other stretch or movement or adjustments as you begin to settle into your posture. See what position for the eyes is supportive for you in arriving and resting, but also staying wakeful with some brightness or energy. Is it helpful to have the eyes slightly open, or is it more calming for you to have them closed? And then beginning to really invite awareness to settle in and through and around this body. Feeling into any tension in the face, neck, and shoulders, and seeing if some care or some softness, some ease can meet these tensions. And continuing to follow that mindfulness and softening and feeling into the muscles of the torso and the back, chest, and heart. And as you continue relaxing hands and buttocks, legs, beginning to feel more weighted, more embodied, more presence. And then taking some time to draw in the energy, the uprightness, the awakeness the inner strength of your ethics, your values, these trainings, these interbeing contracts to refrain from taking life, from causing harm, to refrain from taking more than is freely given, to refrain from speaking falsely and harshly, to refrain from causing harm with our sensuality and sexuality, and to undertake the training to refrain from causing harm through heedlessness or a lack of mindfulness. You could reflect on these or your own values and commitments and feel them as your inner strength that draw some wakeful, bright energy up through the spine, up through your core, your backbone. And then with most of our mindful practices, it's helpful to have an anchor, kind of a ground or a canvas on which we can watch the arising and passing of mind states and sounds and sensations and all of everything that comes and goes. It's easier to have insights into knowing these things in their nature of arising and passing when we have an anchor or this ground on which to pay attention. So choosing now an anchor for yourself that you will return to when letting go has happened, when awareness has drifted away and we're beginning again. If you want a physical anchor, you might choose the sensation of your hands or feet or your breath. If there's a lot of sounds in your environment, you could choose hearing as your anchor. Or if there's a lot of disturbance in the heart mind, in the heart, you might choose a metta practice as your anchor, if you're familiar with that. So just choosing one anchor now for the remainder of this practice. And as we might be experiencing some drowsiness or some restlessness or some other mind state, you might need to turn up the dial of curiosity with your anchor. Turn up the brightness. Pay a little more attention. What is it really like? Notice all the sensations and particularly their quality of arising and passing. And what if we notice attention has gotten hooked into some story of regret of something that has happened or worry about something we imagine might happen? Might see if some lightness is helpful with it, some put with a little flick of the hand. Is it something that we could accept and reset with a bit of lightness and begin again? Deciding and choosing what we want to pay attention to right now. Resetting with your anchor. over and over, choosing where to place our attention and letting go with the lightness to things that can be put in that perspective. And if something feels stickier, um, then you might turn towards it and give it some attention. So bringing in this investigation of the RAIN acronym, we recognize what's here, accept, and then bring some curiosity. Oh, this is really recurring. This is sticky. This needs some attention. And if there's dullness or restlessness, you might turn up the brightness and the curiosity with your anchor, give it a bit more energy. This can be a sleepy time for practice. So we need a little more effort or brightness to begin again. Choose where you want to attend. I I think I'll see if I can um I'm just gonna share screen and share this little clip. See if it works. Let's try. All right. I want to go to this. There. There's a little tyke. Look at her little sweater. So cute. Um, I hope the sound works. Pits, pits. Could you see it okay? Thank you. Pits, pits, pits. It really helps to do the gesture with it. Just be careful though. Don't do this to other people if they're trying to share something stressful. It's not meant to be used in a dismissive, harmful way, obviously, uh, or with ourselves. Yeah, I just think it's sweet and it's helpful. I hope you find something helpful with it. And thank you for practicing with us.